Okay, this is lesson number 41 in Algebra 2, and it's called Unit Multipliers. And we're just going to get started with some of these. If you haven't done these in chemistry yet, you will, but these really aren't too terribly bad. Again, there's a system to follow. There is a method to doing this, and if you follow the rules, you shouldn't have any problem at all. First rule is writing down what you're given, and an arrow, and you're writing down where you're going. So we're changing 600 inches to feet. And I don't know that everybody does it this way, but this is the way the book seems to do it, and this is the way that I explain it. And you've already done these before. We write 600 with the unit, times, and a line. Always, always, always. Never changes. The number they give you, the unit it's given in inches, a multiplication sign, and a line. This unit goes on the bottom, and then I'm looking to see, can I compare that unit with something else to get me eventually feet? And I can. I know that there's 12 inches in 1 foot. And I can always tell if I'm doing this right is if I can cancel that with that, and I'm left with what I'm looking for on top. And if that's the case, then I'm doing everything right. And if this is what I'm looking for, then I'm done. If it's not what I'm looking for, then I'm not done. I'd keep going until I get it. And we'll get into some of those later. So this is actually 600 over 1. So we're going to multiply that. And we're going to divide it by 12 times 1, or 12. And we're going to take 600, and we're going to divide it by 12. And we're going to get 50. 50 what? 50 feet. That's the only thing that was not crossed out as far as my units, because I crossed my inches out. Alright, so let's say that we are given one with area. They say let's convert 44 square feet, and this is the way you write square feet. Feet with an exponent of 2 up there. Feet squared. And we're going to change that to inches squared. Okay, so again, 44 feet squared times line. Feet goes on the bottom, but look what happens here. I've got feet squared. I've got 2 of these here. I only have 1 here, so I can't cancel them both. So what do? Make another times sign, another line, put another foot there. Now I have 2 of these that I can cancel with both of these. So whenever you're doing feet squared, you're going to write the exact same thing twice. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this. So I wrote the exact same thing down twice so that I could cancel this one and this one with these 2 up here. Now if this was cubic feet, if I was doing volume, then I would do this 3 times so I could cancel all those. So now that I do that, I can cancel that with that and both of those. And what do I have left? I have 44 times 12 times 12 divided by nothing, because 1 times 1 is 1. And I have inches twice, so I put inches squared. Alright, so the book leaves that just like that. They assume that you can figure out how to multiply 44 times 12 times 12, and I do too. So you can just leave your answers like that. You don't have to multiply that all through. Okay, so let's look at a couple more examples here. Let's look at 41.3. They're trying to convert 42 square yards to square inches. Alright, so again, 42 square yards times line. Since it's square yards, we're going to have to write it twice. Do we know anything about yards in inches? Well, yeah, I do, but let's pretend that we don't. Let's pretend that we don't know how many inches are in a yard, but we do know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. Okay, so I can cancel that and that with both of those. Okay, awesome. But I'm not looking for feet, am I? I'm looking for inches, so that means I'm not done. I've got to keep going. So, times line, and I've got feet on top, so feet has to go on bottom. Times line. Come on. And do I know anything about feet and inches? Yes, I know there's 12 inches in 1 foot. Alright, so now I can cancel that and that with that and that. And inches is what I'm looking for, and there's 2 of them, so it's squared. So what do I have on the top? 42 times 3 times 3 times 12 times 12. So one of the key things is even though the units cancel, the numbers in front of them never cancel. So 42 times 3 times 3 times 12 times 12. I have nothing on the bottom except 1, so I don't have any denominator there. Inches squared. And just go ahead and leave it like that. You don't have to multiply the whole thing out. Alright, so let's do one more, and we'll call it good. Okay, so 41.4. We're going to do 16 cubic miles, so miles cubed, to cubic inches. Wow, that's crazy. Alright, so we're going to have a little bit of space here. So let's make my pen a little bit smaller. So 16 miles. 16 miles cubed times, we're going to put that 3 times, right? Because of the cube right there. Alright, so miles, miles, miles. Okay, what do we know about miles? I know there's 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Boy, I can write really tiny. I didn't know I could write so small on this. Maybe I can't. That is not a backwards 7. Okay. So then I can cancel my miles. I'm done with my miles. All 3 of them gone. But I'm not looking for feet. I'm looking for inches. So times, times, times. And I've got feet on top, so I know I'm going to have feet on the bottom. And do I know anything about feet in inches since that's where I'm going? If I don't, then I write compare feet with what I do know. But since I do know, I can put 12 inches up here. Okay, and then I can cancel 1, 2, 3 feet. 1, 2, 3 feet. So what do I have? 16 3 times and 12 3 times. So if I multiply all those puppies together, I'm going to find out how many cubic inches are in 16 cubic miles. I mean, we're talking 16 cubic miles is the volume of something like that. So that if you take the length times the width times the height and multiply it, you get 16. So that is huge. And now we're saying we're going to do inches. So anyway, that's it for lesson number 41.